You good? 1 2 1 2. 1 7 1 8.
You went to engineering school?
Yeah, I took a few courses in it. I'm coming out from Colorado though. So,
All right.
yeah, so I just came out here, got into
Legalized weed. Why you left there?
it's a lot faster culture over here.
Because they got free legalized weed.
It don't mean I can't still get it over here.
Make it work out there.
Just make it work just cause of that. Like, yo, we gotta work, man. We got free weed.
I had to come see what it's all about over here.
Huh?
I wanted to come see what it's like over here. I won't believe it.
Yeah, legalized
Rephrase
weed.
that one.
Don't you believe it? Just putting their hands in it.
That's why I'm happy what you said. Graffiti never caught on in the mainstream, because they would have found a way
So do
to
what they
get
did to rap.
all the papers.
Like what they did
To
with rap.
control it. Exactly.
What's this 55?
But
Double nickels.
we were ready. Ready.
Oh yeah, I forgot it is a double nickel.
2 fevers, baby, 2 fevers.
So you ready?
How about that?
Blake, you ready?
Yeah.
Always.
You ready?
Even when you think I'm not ready.
Yo, my real name is Blake. That's why every time you speak to
Yeah.
that man, I respond. That's what my mama name is. So if I get confused,
Exactly.
pardon me.
It starts with Mrs. Been there, rock that episode 55, the double nickel.
Pound, pound.
Prancer.
What's
Blake
good?
Lawington.
What's good?
We are finally back.
Yes.
So, Prancer,
What's good?
you have a lot to talk about, so
I
I will leave the microphone to you and let us know what's going on. Please.
mean, a lot is going on, you know. First of all, we was off, cause Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Happy Father's.
You know what I mean? We out here
Right.
doing what we doing. You went Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I chilled out with the fam trip. Treated me good. Went to some Korean barbecue.
I saw you.
You know what I mean?
Yo, he had a lot to eat that day, guys.
Yeah.
He was going
definitely
in.
serious. It was definitely- They took me to my favorite spot, so I had some, you know, shabu shabu and some Korean barbecue, and it was a good day. We came home to a box of MCM box.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, the feetwear is
You
nice.
living, you
Okay,
living. You living.
yeah. But you
You
know,
You
I
had
paid to
shamu.
play.
What's that? That's the killer whale? Shamu?
Nah, shabu shabu.
Oh,
it's
right.
it's like well, I got it. I tasted it in Japan first. It's like boiling water, and then you take the beef, like sliced beef, like roast beef slices or something like that, and then you dip it in the boiling water. But then they give you different dipping sauces to have. Then they give you a side
It's
of
cut
rice.
thin though, right?
Yeah, very thin. You know
Like
what I mean?
steak?
You use it on
Yeah,
fork,
exactly.
you use it on
Exactly.
chopstick.
Word up. But they is a high price steakum. Kobe. Sliced Kobe. You know what I mean? So it's definitely something good. But this week here though was the low life barbecue.
Yeah, that's why I said you had a lot to talk about.
Yes,
Considering
yes.
you're the only one that went.
It's all good.
Let us
you know. But we don't really call it the low life barbecue or boat ride or whatever. It's just a love and loyalty weekend. You know what I'm saying? So the boat ride was dope. Dark Man, Big Guns, and Ed Michelle, polo contest man, did a great job. Because a lot of people, usually the stigma is, yo, there's a bunch of polo niggas on that shit. They ain't gonna have no chicks, you know what I mean? But yo, this time, people use they co-workers and they
came out.
You know, they cousins, nieces, whatever was out there and out and about, and you know, everybody wasn't dressed in polo. It was a denim and white party, which was great. You know what I mean?
What you wore?
Nah, I had on some MCM. You know, I was just chilling on some lightweight. And then, you know, I'm representing the Been There Rock That t-shirts that, you know, just dropped.
You brought them out there?
I had on the white and black. You know, we got the red and black, we got the Nipsey blue and black. That's crazy. You know, a lot of heads. Right now we just trying to get our sizes together really to get these pre-orders together.
What sizes you got?
We got a lot of what?
XL.
A lot of
Like
XL,
1XL,
2X.
a lot of 2XL, and a couple mediums here and there.
Yeah.
I like the
But
Brooklyn
Bird.
Dodgers colorway you got on.
Yeah.
White and blue.
But that's a one-on-one though.
Yeah, this is a one-on-one because of the font is white.
Right.
But a lot of people been liking this colorway or whatever. So we might go in this direction and switch it up and have instead of the white and black, a black and white. You know what I
You
mean?
just gotta get them used to the black one, that's all.
That's it.
You just gotta get used to it, that's all.
But
They be alright.
anyway, the boat ride was dope. You know what I mean?
Right.
But other than that, DJ Candle did his thing. You know what I mean? He brought us back with the memories of the old rockers and all of that. So it was definitely a good, memorable moment. You know what I mean? But then the next day was the barbecue.
Right. So how was that?
Salute to all the OGs that came out. You know what I mean? Rack Low, always the host with the most with his beautiful wife Sheena. They always had all the food and the drinks out there for everybody. My man, excuse me, my man Mailman from Japan came through and DJ for the set. It was right, you know what I mean? He know all the nostalgic music that need to be played or whatever. Lyricists had a little Polo, you know what I'm saying? Polo's line in a verse or whatever, he'd be playing that or whatever, you know you gotta play that jiggy all day. So you know, cheap promo or whatever. But other than that, just been moving and shaking, moving the brand and, you know, doing what we doing. The summer just started,
Right.
you know. I don't know if I told y'all about they tried to steal my bike in front of my job. So that was kind of crazy, but I had a bullshit ass cable wire joint that I shouldn't have had on a beautiful Peugeot that I have. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I gotta take a little more pride in my joint.
They try to cut it?
Yeah. They try to nip through the wire cable or whatever. So a lot of people
Gotta get that kryptonite
after I
shit.
put it on. Thank you. After I put it on IG, that's when I got mad DMs and mad comments like, nah, son, you gotta get a kryptonite. That shit sucker proof. So now I feel a little more confident. I got that plus a U-lock for the wheels, so I'm kind of.
You gotta lock the wheels too?
Yeah, why not? Just in case.
You can't, anyway.
These might just get jealous, but
Yeah.
then they get jealous and just put a flat in your joint, so I gotta walk it home anyway.
But at least you
so-
got your bike though.
Yeah, factual,
got the
factual.
frame.
You already
Word.
know.
You got your bike still.
Word up. But yo, Blake, what's good, boy?
Nothing, man. I had a death for my family, so I went out to Vegas for a couple of days, and that was really good.
Rest in peace.
Yes.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So that's it.
So
Trying to get back into the groove.
that's what I'm saying. But you're getting slowly but surely
Yeah,
getting back
yeah,
to the groove.
little by little. You know what I mean?
And it takes time, but you'll be back.
Yeah. Put out a couple of and I lost my phone too. I had some good footage on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
but I lost the phone and I lost the footage. Some reason that footage didn't go to the cloud. I was telling you that earlier. I
Right.
had some good footage in there. I was gonna make videos and stuff, and that's kind of fucked up. So I gotta redo a whole bunch of shit.
Prancer showing the
The
video
shirts?
right that tease.
Or-
Yeah, why not?
You know, he's showing them.
Why not? Why not?
Well, you're not live yet, so I guess you know. You on the video?
Oh yeah, but
Yeah, but
at
that
least,
still works.
You know.
Yeah, you know, it's all good.
So that was it.
That was it.
Oh nah, that ain't it. Yo, congratulations on your show too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Gotta big that up, brother.
First episode.
Word.
Already.
Yeah. I did the first episode. We did it together.
And you got friend of the podcast next to you.
Right. He came through at the last minute, spur of the moment.
Everything happens for a reason.
Right. So he came through. Like I said, I'm trying to edit that. You know what I mean? It's done.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to edit it, and I'm trying to get my theme music. That's really the thing.
Right.
I need a verse for my theme music, so I'm trying to get somebody to give me a verse.
Because that's the whole thing about starting your own project is just getting the whole structure together
And the
on how
details.
you want it.
The details
yeah,
is important to me. You know what I'm saying?
Because you
The
know what
details.
you want,
Right.
but it's just to put it.
I want
together,
my theme
right.
music, like I want to have somebody rhyming over that beat. So whatever. I got something in the
In
works.
time.
No, I gotta have it soon because I want that shit out. You know what I mean?
I got
Because
you.
look, I don't like putting things out there. I don't like saying things or putting my word out there and the shit don't come to happen.
Yo,
I don't like doing that too often. You know what I mean? So if I say something, it has to happen.
That's the
I don't
thing.
like.
That's
I
the
can't
thing.
just throw my word out there like it's nothing.
being a grown man, you know, you gotta be a man of your word.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, and that's from long time with the streets. You know
Nothing
what I'm
without
saying?
your word, B. Nothing.
Word is born. You know what I
Nothing.
mean? Your
Yeah.
word is born. So
It's my bond.
that's the thing. That's the thing with even like I was saying. I went to the Love and Loyalty weekend, and a lot of people was talking about how our consistency on Been There Rock That is where our guests, we bringing up the right guests to talk about, you know,
Facts.
their platform or what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And we're giving them that time to talk that history that's really needed out here in these times. You know what I'm saying? For the youths and for some grown adults that act like they was there but wasn't there.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So
Giving them history lessons.
yeah, please. So we definitely being appreciated out there in them streets. So I wanted to salute y'all on that. For real.
Word.
Well, we're trying.
Salute.
We're trying.
Try harder.
We always try harder.
Try is not good enough. You know what I mean?
But anyway,
We out for the gusto.
no, as you say, we have for the mulala.
That's a fact.
There you go. See,
That's a
See?
big
learning. See.
That's a dictionary fact.
But anyway, real quick. Yeah, I was in Florida last week. I visited my 5-year-old daughter. Shout out to her moms. She's doing a great job bringing her up. You know, I gotta give credit where credit is due.
No doubt.
Yeah, other than that, I was just in Florida and I just came back.
What part of Florida?
St. Augustine.
But at the same time, I mean, Mom Duke's there, you know, hands on, but you know, thank God for like technology with like the FaceTime or
Yeah.
whatever. Like you can interact a little more than just a phone call.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Where she just hearing your voice. At least she's seeing you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because even with the whole, I did comment about Father's Day
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram and it ruffled a couple of women's feathers.
Of course it would.
But, whatever. It happens.
But,
you know
but what did you say?
I just said that the same energy that's be given on Mother's Day should be reciprocated on Father's Day.
Absolutely. So what's the problem?
And I just say some women try to, hold back, like try to not have a man have his Father's Day with his kids. And they got mad at that. A couple people got mad, but I don't care. It's still up there. Believe me.
That's a whole nother issue.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got 4 kids, and I take those kind of days seriously.
As you should.
Because I also pay child support, so I think I deserve at least a day. I'm paying all this fucking money.
I mean, at the same time, you ain't ducking and dodging
No,
that you gotta
no,
pay child
no,
support. You know what I mean?
I put that shit full blast.
Facts.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't escape it. It's
You'll
like,
be doing your part regardless.
yeah,
no
but
doubt.
I'm just saying, but give me that respect. You know what I'm saying? Don't do no dumb shit to me on Father's Day. Give me that respect.
So what you saying, that Father's Day is not as big as Mother's Day?
I'm saying some women don't even give you the respect that is even a day for you.
Yeah.
And we as men got to do better. Like when we see the bullshit, like Pran said, call the bullshit what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so what are you talking about? Accountability.
All of that.
All right.
It was all that. Cause you know what I was about to segue into, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna wait till I see that man in person. Anyway, we have a guest.
Yes, sir.
He is a legendary writer. He is part of the legendary group, the X-Men.
Yes, sir.
And he's gonna explain all of that. Keo is here of the X-Men.
Peace.
Salute.
So, like I told Prince Keo, I'm really not gonna say too much because when you really can talk about a whole lot of stuff that none of us has been through, and even if we've been through, you have different perspectives on it that we don't have. So the table is yours. You can start wherever you want to start. I'm gonna enjoy this. I told Prince, let's go.
Wow. Alright. I mean, I guess this is primarily a show dealing with fashion.
Yeah,
New York
that's
City,
fashion, but
the history of clothing and so forth.
yeah,
And the lifestyle behind the clothing also.
You can't have one without the other.
Sure
you
indeed.
understand?
right.
So I'm maybe a couple years older than a lot of cats that's here, so I saw some of the roots of the thing. Like, I got a friend, Dallas Penn, right, and we were discussing, we agreed to disagree about mixing and matching brands.
Right.
Because there's dudes giving these young kids a lot of heat because they maybe got an Adidas track pants with a Nike shoe on, and people act like that's a violation. In fact, they call it set tripping or something.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, maybe that's a Cali thing. I don't know. But where I came from, and the evidence is there. Jamel Shabazz, good dude, took a lot of flicks of my neighborhood
Right.
in my era when the 70s turned to the 80s. And you see that cats wore quality, regardless of the brand, okay? So that brand loyalty to I'm all polo everything, that came a little later than me, right? So we wore what was good and functional. So if you like the Puma Clyde suedes, right?
Right.
But you knew Adidas made the best tracksuit. The Puma, just because they had a good shoe, their suit might be garbage.
Right.
Okay? So you can't tell me that I need polo socks and drawers when I know that Ralph don't even make socks.
Right.
Okay? That's a licensee. Right? So you buying a bootleg already. Wigwam makes the best socks.
Right.
And motherfuckers ain't talking about Wigwam in the streets, okay? So we understood that maybe Kango had the best hat, Cazal had the best eyewear, or Yves Saint Laurent, you understand? So when I first got into, and you know, I grew up poor,
Right.
so we wanted to look fresh. That was important.
At
I met rich kids that could wear anything. Their parents wanted them to dress preppy, and they went the other way. They would destroy their shit, rip up their clothes and draw on their sneakers and shit, you know? But on my side, we maybe didn't have the latest shit. So if we had it, we wanted to keep it crispy and fresh, you understand? It was real important to us. You might not get a girl if you had on dirty rejects from last year. So you needed to have the flyers, right?
And I didn't mean to cut your wisdom,
Yeah.
but it wasn't even a price point thing, because
Nah.
people used to iron up their BBDs.
It was how you rock.
You know what I mean?
It was how you rock.
Like I said with the
Keeping it
Pumas.
crispy.
Like I remember the dudes with the green and white Pumas
Right.
with the green BVD
DVD nylon.
nylon with the vest, the white vest on top of that, with the Kango hat with a white Kango with a green do-rag.
And some leads. I go even before that. The first gear that I really fiend for, and when they had the blackout in 1977, being that I lived downtown Brooklyn, me and my man Pito snuck out and we wrecked the shops on Livingston, Nevins, and Fulton because I wanted a pair of shark skins with the pleat. Gabardines, that they were gray, but inside the pleat, and I'm talking about bell bottoms tight in the ass. I'm talking pure 70s shit with the Sansa belt. You know what I mean? The overlap button.
Right.
Inside the pleat was a second color, burgundy. That was a two-tone pleat. So I'm going back, you know, to the early when the Jackson 5 came out with automatic.
That was with the wing
systematic.
Scots? The mock necks?
Yeah, Chinese mock necks, even the big collar shirts that had graphics of antique cars on them, and it was straight polyester. It wasn't nothing fly, but that was the look, and you could rock that with Pro Keds 69ers or Super Pro Keds and be on point. So I was lusting for these things that my parents couldn't afford or didn't see the value in getting me. So I began shoplifting very, very young. So people talk about, oh, I'm a booster. I said, well, we was all boosters. What else did you do? Like, that can't be your claim to fame. That was everyday shit. I was stealing 50 cans of spray paint in one wok by the time I was 11 years old.
Talk about it.
So that graduated to, you know, money racking, where we're boosting Bustellos and aspirins and selling them over here to have a little pocket change. That was just survival.
Right.
So if you tell me that's your claim to fame is I'm a booster, I'm like, okay. but that wasn't nothing, special.
Right.
You understand? That was just part of what we had to do. And we also would
Like a
go,
survival tactic.
yeah, yeah, because you would get laughed off the playground at PS 38 as a kid if your shit was not right. If you had your brother's hand-me-down pants on and they was a little young on you, they had a song about high waters. The flood is over, the land is dry. Why do you wear your pants so high? Right? And they would get you.
Right.
And you'd be the laughing stock. They had a song for the sneakers. If you went to Buster Brown's and got the Pro Specs or something, they said, oh, rejects. They cost $1.99. Rejects. Right, they wipe your mama behind. And you go home crying.
Yeah, I always remember that Buster
reject.
Brown on the corner,
But look,
Flatbush and Fulton.
Yes,
Right there.
exactly.
That was
They used to
classic.
put your foot in a metal torture,
Thank you.
a contraption.
Tell 'em all.
I'd be crying as a little. That was worse than the dentist.
No doubt.
They used to measure your foot.
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen.
Yeah, but you see now, Keo, high waters are now in style.
Yeah, well, things come and go. So,
yeah, but look, back to that, the army cut
Yes,
off,
sir.
but it came, that
You
stuff
want that
made,
wave too.
that made you, it toughened you up, that playground shit. You know what I mean? It made you be on point all the time. And you take that as you get older, and that's why, like, you want to stay fresh because of that.
well, to add on to that point, see, I see a lot of kids wearing things today that maybe they couldn't have worn in the 70s, 80s.
Oh, facts. There's a lot of stuff.
Because, yeah, you got teased if you didn't have it, but once you got it, you had to hold on
Defend
to
it.
it. Cats would size you up. Yo, what size is those, money? And only one right answer. Your
Your
size.
size. With a snuff behind.
Yeah, man.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
And that's anywhere you went.
Yes.
And
Yes.
tell about back then that it wasn't even about no club scene. It was the skating rinks. That was the clubs, really. Empire on Park Circle.
Yeah, the Roxy was a roller skating rink
No doubt.
before it was all that hip hop.
They had a
shit.
skating rink behind Erasmus Hall.
Yes.
They had another skating rink on Utica between Winthrop and Clarkson back in the days.
I was going to the Biltmore Ballroom to
tell
see Yellow Man when cats would fire actual gunshots into the ceiling.
Facts.
Not just plom. They would really pull out and let off just to let the DJ know they like that
Nice
song.
tune.
Rewind
Bring
that
it back.
back. Rewind.
Like big tune.
Yeah, there was holes in the ceiling.
And everybody going on dancing and all of that, like, yo, legal shots, not worried, not worried, legal shots.
That was regular.
Facts.
So I was probably the only white kid in some of these places, but I never thought about that. Like, I just went where my friends went. I was into it. You know, I wasn't doing nothing special.
Right.
I wasn't original. I just wanted to be down with my friends and listen to what they listened to. They wrote graffiti. I started writing graffiti. You understand? I wanted to be accepted. That's all. Like every other kid. I wasn't doing nothing special, you know? Now people say, oh, you was the first white MC. What the fuck is a white MC? Either you rhyme or you don't.
Yeah, because Peter Paul was saying that you rhyme.
I mean, listen, we did everything.
Right.
I tried to dance. I had 2 left feet. You know, I was born gimp. I had to wear these special black shoes that had a metal bar in between, a brace to try to straighten my leg out. So I never could play ball or fight as good as the next man or dance. But I found graffiti and that was my lane.
Right.
But I tried popping and locking, electric boogie, all of that. We used to battle dudes in every element. So now cats say I'm an MC. I said, that's all? What else you do? Because in one day, you might battle a dude. You know, I did literally everything except DJing because I could never afford equipment. So DJing, you had to have some means,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
Just collecting the records
Exactly.
was expensive.
Right.
And then you better have a shotgun to keep your equipment. back to what you were saying.
And your crate men used to have to be solid dudes carrying your crates.
This is why there's MC crews today, because the DJ used to talk on the mic. One man band.
Right.
He used to say little rounds with an echo chamber. The sounds you about to hear, may be devastating, stating to your ear, right? But he had to have a little crew, and those was his apprentices. They was helping him carry and set up equipment, but they was also learning the art of DJing from him. It was a give and take. Master apprentice, you understand? Like a intern, they would call it today. So they would let them cats get on the mic, right? And that's how that whole, now today the MC became the star somehow.
Right.
But really the first MCs was just to big up their DJ.
So they were like hype men for the DJ.
Exactly. That's what MC means. He's the master of ceremonies. He introduces the main act.
Right.
He's the guy who says, now the act you've all been waiting for. Cool DJ, so-and-so,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
He's not the star. He's the, what do you call that? The
Hype man.
The MC.
The master of ceremonies.
But somewhere along the line that changed.
Because they didn't know how to market the MC. See, they didn't
You mean the
understand.
DJ?
The DJ, right.
He's the most important.
They didn't understand. We're gonna make a record of you playing other people's records? Nah, we got a band in the studio. They can reproduce that break beat. And they saw the MC was the guy they could market. He was the star in their eyes. And they broke up a lot of good groups.
Definitely.
They said, you don't need him. You should go solo. So at some point it turned from, okay, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five MCs. That was the underline, right? Eric B and Rakim. Somewhere it turned around, Cool G Rap and DJ Polo. Right?
Yeah, then but
Jazzy Jeff
But
and the Fresh.
Right?
You think-
That name started taking second billing. And then soon you didn't need him at all. And dudes was rhyming over a recorded deck. And the DJ would just stand there and pretend that, you know, he was a backup dancer,
But you
basically.
think that sampling fucked up the DJ a little bit?
Even
And drum
before
machines and
sampling,
samplers and all that?
even before sampling, they replayed. Okay, they had a house band at Sugar Hill Studios, and they were incredible house bands. So whatever y'all wanted to rhyme over, whatever was the break beat of that week, they would just replay it. So they didn't have to pay any royalties.
like how the Roots do.
Right. When you sample, you have to pay. Okay. And a lot of cats got sued and shut down and didn't make any money off their records.
But how we get to the point with the
And real
like
hits, too.
like you said before, it was even like Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Like how did we lose? Because we lost two things. We lost the DJ and we lost dancing. Now when I say
We
we
lost a lot more than that.
No, but I'm just saying.
We
But look,
lost freedom, justice,
No,
and
but look.
equality.
look. But you know what I'm saying? As far as like rapping and MCing, the DJ was always there, and so was dancers.
Of course.
Now, like you said, it's just predominantly the artist and nothing else. But how did that happen though? How do we eliminate the DJ, which was the most important thing?
We didn't. The
Who did that?
corporations that can market and control things.
How do we allow
they
that, though?
Pick and chose. They do it today, man. They'll pick and choose which graffiti artists they want to make mainstream. Oh, we can market him. You understand? We're
That's
gonna
like-
give him an art career.
You was
That
saying
doesn't
was
mean he's the best or the streets feel him the most. It means he's the one that we can package.
you was telling me that with the app.
Right.
They know who they want to put on the app.
Right, but that's exactly what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. That's what I'm saying.
It's like they just select somebody. Like,
But they know who they picking.
Yeah, I'm gonna choose him. We're gonna choose him. We're gonna.
I think it's sad though, cause you know the DJ was it's so important. Like you don't even hear scratching no more. If you think
But
about
back to fashion, it's the same thing. They try to pick, oh, we gonna reissue this and put it in the hood at Jimmy Jazz, right? Because that's for y'all. And we're gonna hold this over here and put that in the purple label or the double RL because that ain't for y'all. But we never let corporate dictate to us what we rock. okay?
No.
You understand? And they're trying to control, now you go to Bushwick, Williamsburg, wherever they have, oh, this is where y'all can paint graffiti. Well, guess what? If you doing it permission legal, it ain't graffiti no more. Graffiti by definition is revolutionary.
Rebellious.
It's illegal. It's anti-establishment.
Fact.
The minute you doing it with permission, it's something else. The minute you put it in a gallery, it's something else. And I believe the minute they began to make hip hop records, it became something else. Because hip hop was by kids, for kids, free outdoors in the park. If it cost money, it was $1, $1.50 to get in the PAL rec center or whatever, in the projects. You know, it was an alternative to what corporate radio was playing. It was an alternative to disco at that time had become very, you had to have money to go to Studio 54, you needed a white suit and cocaine. It was becoming very exclusive.
Right.
Hood kids with the sneakers on, 17 years old, he can't go, he can't get in the door.
Right.
So these were parties for us, by us, right? All these art forms, graffiti was invented by 11-year-old kids, man, from the projects, no money. And now, you know, you see it in museums, you see it being used by major corporations to sell their product, marketing and promotion. And that's cool, I'm not mad at anyone getting a check, but don't confuse one for the other.
Right.
So a lot of things were co-opted. Even, we were talking about this before, we used to paint the whole outside of the train car, top to bottom, right? When nobody gave a shit about the subway. New York was bankrupt, the subway was falling apart. 1974, they asked the feds for a bailout. They said this city is crumbling, like Detroit is now, right? And Gerald Ford said, fuck you. It was the cover of the New York Post. Ford to city, drop dead. No bailout. So we were forced to make do with what we had, right? The schoolyard was falling apart. There was no net on the basketball rim. It was bent. So we took that fucked up, it looked like a jail yard with a 30-foot chain link fence and broken glass. Right? We took the handball court and we painted Mickey Mouse and colors on there. So Monday when the kids came back to school, man, they saw something. They took a sense of pride in their neighborhood, right? In that same schoolyard, we would throw parties. Plug into the lamppost. Illegal, right? We didn't wait for nobody else to do it for us. Now people wait for you to give them new music. Hey, when are you guys gonna put out some good hip hop? Motherfucker, make it. Make it. When are they gonna re-release this polo thing from 1993? Well, you're the one who made that shit fly in the first place. You showed them how to rock it. Now you begging them to give it back to you, to sell it back to you? Come on, man, make your own. Make your own.
Backwards.
Exactly.
Hustle backwards.
They only know about ski man suicide because of us, right?
That lingo, right?
Right.
And now they're using it too, for sure.
Yeah.
Like you said, sell it back to you.
Yeah, they had no clue what they had till we made it fly. The same way Brooklyn is now a brand, right?
Right.
You could put Brooklyn on a t-shirt and sell it in Iowa. People love this shit. But in the 60s, going into the 70s, nobody wanted to live here. It was called white flight. Get out while you can. Not even white. If you was black and your mom's had a good job, your pops worked for the post office, you got the fuck out. You went to St. Albans or Long Island or somewhere. You got the fuck out of Brooklyn. But those of us who stayed and continued to make it fly, we made records, pride, yelling about it. Brooklyn, Brooklyn. And people started paying attention, man. Yo, Brooklyn is something. And then they start moving back. And soon I seen what's her name? Erica Badu and Common, and they moving to Fort Greene.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfuckers didn't even want to walk through Fort Greene in broad daylight. If you had to drive through, if you made a mistake and got off the BQ, you rolled up your windows and locked your doors. You stop at the red light, they might snatch you out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, the people who made it fly, and I'm not just talking about hip hop kids, I'm talking about community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they took the empty abandoned lot and planted gardens when nobody cared about that shit. They got the wrench for the fire hydrant, the Johnny Plump, and made a block association, right?
Mm-hmm.
The school free lunch program, that was started by the Black Panthers, so the kids could eat nutritious meals.
Mm-hmm.
The Park Slope Food Co-op, that was started by hippies, revolutionaries, Black Panthers, FALN, you know, yippies, real radicals. They'd have called them today, they'd have called them, no, they would have called them terrorists, enemies of the state.
Mm-hmm.
And now the government has co-opted all those
Cause they
take credit for it.
you know, they think, Farrakhan's a terrorist.
Yeah, of course. Anybody who's stopping their money is a terrorist.
Or going against the grain.
Yeah, you an enemy of the state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they took him off of Facebook, took him off of Instagram, they took his whole profile.
Listen, to them Sam Cooke was a terrorist.
Mm.
To them Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, these were terrorists. They got FBI files on them.
Because of their influence. Basically.
Yes.
The people that
Society.
the people that they are not afraid of are still alive. People they're afraid of are all dead.
Mm.
If you're still alive, they don't fear you. That's it.
They couldn't
They
kill
kill who they fear.
everybody.
They can do whatever they want. What you
Yeah.
mean they can't kill everybody?
Hey, we still here.
They could.
Look, we sitting right here
Not
talking
Not
about
us, not
microphones.
us, not us, not us. They could, you know what I mean?
Giving the people the content, that's what he's saying.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is the people that's the real threats are dead.
My man,
Not their
Or they're
message, though.
silence.
if I kill the messenger, the message spreads even
Thank
further.
Understood.
If I shot you right now,
Understood.
your face would be on t-shirts tomorrow.
Hmm.
Like, what's your man Nipsey Russell, rest in peace? I never heard of dude.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not from that side of town.
Right.
Until he passed, rest in peace. Then all of a sudden I'm finding out about all this wonderful shit he was doing for the community, right?
No doubt.
Why weren't y'all bigging him up when he was alive though?
Oh, that's another topic.
I wish somebody had let me know about Duke when he was alive. The minute I make you a martyr, your message spreads.
Yeah, but you know what? It's one thing when you don't have leaders to touch and feel and look at. When all your leaders and the strong people are memories, that has an effect.
But-
It's different when you can touch and see them.
They don't even
That's
have to
strength.
kill you anymore. They just make a rumor. They pay some girl to say you
Or
touched
slander you,
in the
slander you,
program.
slander you.
Yeah.
They can slander you.
Right.
They'll take you, but
That's exactly what they want to do.
they cripple you or they take you out. One of the other.
Diminish you.
Like, you know what I mean? So
I met a cat from the Mossad and he was retired. I worked with him. I didn't even know what he done, but he was an Israeli cat. And once I got to know him and he started telling me little things, I found out that he was deep into the Mossad, and he was stationed in South America like a Nazi hunter. And he said, B, we don't even have to kill people no more. It's either money, sex, or drugs, right? Killing you is the last option. Everybody got a weakness,
Of life.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I come out and say allegations, oh, you touch little boys or you mess with little girls, right? Even if you're later found innocent, that stigma sticks with you forever.
Yeah.
In the court of public opinion, you done. They neutralized your power.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very easy for me to pay somebody 10 grand to say you touched them inappropriately. 20 years ago, when it was a little kid, guess what? The statute of limitations is passed. You never get to go to a court of law and defend yourself in front of a jury of your peers. So all that's left is the allegations. So, you know, it's many ways to kill. It's many ways to kill.
Mm-hmm.
They'd rather have you alive and
Dumb down your message.
degraded,
Right.
ashamed,
Mhm.
right?
Like they won.
Than to make you a martyr. They could say, look, see? They even try to talk about Martin Luther King had girls outside of his marriage. What the fuck that got to do with his message?
Mhm.
He says, stop the war, peace, non-violence, equality for all men. But what is his sex life got? How does that affect the message at all? It don't.
Nothing. All
It
it
don't.
is just smoke and mirrors. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then again, like what you were saying, Blake, with it can't dumb down the message. Like basically what Theo's saying, because you got his brother, Black Sam,
Mhm.
that his brother's passing just gonna put the fuel in his back. You know what I'm saying? In his
Yeah,
in his
We don't
fight.
die, we multiply.
Exactly.
Right.
I already know how he feeling about the situation. That's just gonna make the movement even more on his back.
To bring it back
To make it win.
to this clothing thing, you know Ralph Lauren tried to kill off the polo line. He wanted to let it go. He wanted to put everything under the purple Ralph Lauren thing. The streets made him keep that shit alive. So we really control. We have the power.
Mhm.
And stop letting people dictate to you what's fly.
Right.
We tell them what's fly, you understand? So,
The lost mentality.
man,
That's the lost mentality.
That-
That's why New York fell off.
But that's what, like, I know you two were talking about this. So why do you think all these cats wanna look the same? Cause you see it, we clearly see it.
it's homogeneous. You know what homogeneous is? Everyone's the same. Homogenization, right? So, individuality, uniqueness, creativity is a threat to the status quo. If you're doing your own thing, you're a problem, right? If everybody, if they tell you, oh, this is the Jordan, run out and buy it. It's mass mind control, right? But if we saying, nah, I'm off that, I'm wearing the Adoras today, okay? They don't own you anymore. So it's on many levels that with the music, with the popular culture, but even with politics, that shit trickles down to everything. So now everybody's either Republican or Democrat, divide and conquer, right? Where's third party politics? Where's this generation's Shirley Chisholm? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't even have a voice. So by you doing your own thing, by you stepping out of what they offering you, okay, here's your illusion of choice. Coke or Pepsi, red or blue, Crip or blood. Choose one. They both the same poison, right? I choose Coke over Pepsi, I'm still drinking poison. So Republican, Democrat, left wing, right wing, them two wings on the same bird flying in the same direction, right? So we supposed to have freedom of choice. That's a democracy. You wear whatever the fuck you wanna wear, you rock whatever you wanna rock. Okay, me, I'll bring it back to some real shit. I'm a heterosexual man. I love women, I have a beautiful wife. Today, as I was coming over here, and from where I live in Brooklyn, the fastest way is to take the N into 14th in Manhattan and take the L back out.
Right.
And it was a pride parade on Rainbow Bright, LGBG, CBGBs, whatever you call them. It was deep. And that's not my particular brand of ice cream,
Right.
but I'll fight for their right to do their thing. You understand?
Right.
Because there has to be diversity. There has to be. The minute we say, nah, they can't rock, the next step is you can't rock, right? The minute we say, oh, let's build a wall to keep the Mexicans out, right? Who's next? Who's next?
That's the scary part.
Yeah. And I've seen it before. So unity is what frightens them. If you ever been incarcerated, you'll see it's like a microcosm of the larger society. And it's all boiled down. You're like in a fishbowl, so you can see things real clearly. If it's 5 corrections officers gotta control 10,000 men, how can they do that? How can they stop you from rebelling, from taking over? They gotta divide and conquer, right? They gotta say, oh no, blacks can't rock with Spanish. Y'all gotta be over there. Y'all gotta be over there. Don't fuck with them. Unity, that scares them. Okay? So this is a very divisive time. They showing you videos on YouTube, on Facebook, on your Instagram feed every day of instances of racism, of brutality. They trying to get people to pick a side and hate each other. Now, if you grew up in New York is very small islands. We all lived together. We didn't all get along all the time, but we understood each other. Your neighbors, it's not like any other city where, you know, you live on that side of the tracks and y'all live over there. We were jammed up together. Puerto Ricans, West Indians, Dominicans, Chinese, white boys, all vibing off each other. And that's how hip hop really came to be. Because at least what I saw in my neighborhood, they threw a jam in the park. Now, it was the West Indian migration in 1977. A lot of cats came from Jamaica and they understood the high power sound. High power means you plug up to the power lines. They showed us how to throw a party for free outdoors. They said, we don't need no disco. This is a disco right here. Because if you go to the Caribbean today, you see they do shit outdoors. You got 2 chairs by the side of the road. You got a shop, a rum shop. Everything is do it yourself. So they showed us how to plug up. And they had a style of chatting over the instrumental part of the record. Except the cats, now my block you had wild Puerto Ricans that listen to heavy metal. They dress like Hell's Angels, outlaws. They didn't want to hear that reggae shit all night. The down south African American cats, they wanted to hear some funk and disco. They don't want to hear that island shit all night. Other cats wanted to hear Afro-Cuban percussion and salsa and boogaloo, right? So you had to be able to touch on all those things to keep the peace. Or dudes would get tight and tear up the party. Yo, turn that bullshit off. Play my shit. So the good DJs were able to find the breakbeat that flowed in all those records. Okay, I'm gonna put Led Zeppelin on. Now y'all happy. Oh, that's my shit. And I'm gonna go right into James Brown and make it smoothly mixed so that the dancers don't ever have to skip a beat.
That blend.
Right. Ain't no such thing as hip hop music. There were no hip hop records. Hip hop was taking the breakbeat of every form of music. Whatever you could steal from your mama's crates, old dusty shit, and making it rock. And finding that 4/4 beat that really came from rock and roll and blues. Because disco was on a different tempo. That boom, boom, ba, boom, 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 ba. That shit came from Billy Squier and hair metal records and you know what I'm saying? That shit was straight old music that they brought it back because cats felt it because the disco was becoming more and more robotic European, what do you call that? Techno?
New wave.
Yeah. EDM.
Electronic dance music.
So instead of a live drummer, instead of that, whoosh, ooh, ah, what's right with that is that it's a little off. They had that perfect tack, 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 tack. And dudes don't really feel that. That shit doesn't hit you the same way. because your heartbeat is on a certain rate.
Right.
The Treacherous Three said that. Feel my heartbeat, feel my heartbeat, right?
Yeah.
So if cats don't feel it no matter what type of music it is. Same with the clothes. We took shit from Germany, we took shit from Korea, we took shit from Made in the USA, it didn't matter. Didn't matter the name of the designer. It was that you could rock that shit a certain way. And we always flipped it. You know what I mean? Whether it was turning your hat backwards, unlacing your shoes, it was about how you made it your own. We take a bullshit sweatshirt and iron our letters on there, or airbrush a t-shirt, or paint down the side of your Lee jeans and make that shit your own. That was flamboyant before Ralph came out with graphics. Cause when I got into it, it was Lacoste, 3-button polo. Now, Lacoste is the first to put a logo on the outside of a garment. Other people might have their name in the tag. That alligator is the first logo to be on the outside, on the front, on Broadway, right? And then a couple other brands, Le Tigre, Ralph, they began to do it. Ralph started with neckties. That was his father's business. His father passed and left him a warehouse full of ugly ass plaid neckties. And he couldn't sell them. And he said, what can I do? Now this is a Jewish cat from the hood. Tough New York Jews from the Bronx, right? He said, how can I make this fly? Make people want it, aspirational. He said, what's the most aspirational shit out there? Oh, polo. Because wasn't nobody in the Bronx. Jews at that time were not even allowed to join the country club. They were barred. Only WASPs, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, could be a member of the polo club. So he put that polo player on the tie and they sold out like that. He said, what's next? 3-button polo shirts. And back then we used to wear them buttoned all the way to the top. Right? There wasn't no crazy graphics. I remember when the Crayola jacket came out.
The uni.
It was blue, yellow, light blue. It had navy, then yellow, then light blue, then red, and people was like, what the fuck? Because we was wearing monochromatic. You understand? If you had burgundy Lees with a burgundy Le Tigre, a burgundy Kango, and burgundy Pumas, you got some burgundy laces.
No doubt.
And the next day you might be all navy, all green, money green, top to bottom. That flamboyant fly shit, that came from graffiti writers painting on their clothes, man. Graphics. Look at that Ski Band 92 shit.
On the back.
Tell me that shit ain't graffiti. Look at the splash everywhere.
No doubt.
But nobody was doing shit like that. Not on your clothes. Maybe your grandma's moo-moo has some flowers on it. But dudes wasn't rocking like that. Graffiti writers started taking plain old Lee jackets and Lee jeans, which was not the most expensive shit. Levi's was already above Lee. It was some cheap shit, but it was what we had. And we made it our own. We made it fly. You put the name of the crew on the back, boom. Right? So I believe that the designers always been taking their cues from the street. Now the street trying to take their cues from the designer. You're waiting for them to tell you, oh, this is back. Back? Shit never left. I've been dressing the same way since 1980. I swear to God. And sometimes people look at me like, damn, this dude is a cornball, a dinosaur. He still got a Kango on. And then the next year is back in style, and I'm on trend for about a month. Now everybody bringing back Cazals. Come on, man. Don't even know why Cazals were flying the hood. Because certain cats with money traveled to Germany. They were not available here. Okay? They were not available here. You saw Muhammad Ali go over there and come back. rocking these gold joints.
Mhm.
Ooh, okay. You saw Sammy Davis Jr. used to wear them.
Facts.
Cats who were stationed in the military in Germany began bringing them back. Okay? And everybody wanted them. They start going into the hood, Saul Moscott and these neighborhood opticians and saying, yo, you got the Cazals. And forced the retailers to import them.
So
Supply and
Moscott is
demand.
over there by Orchard Street, right?
Delancey,
Say no more.
yeah.
Yeah. That's a classic spot.
So a lot of things, like you was talking about the BVDs
Mhm.
and Lees, right? That was standard uniform.
No doubt.
It wasn't until the West Indian migration that we began to see the rude boys come over here. After 77 election in Jamaica, a lot of cats that was called Spanglers,
Mm-hmm.
you know, shower posse they call them now, they was forced to leave. And they could only take out with them $500 because they were scared that all the money would leave the island. So they put all their money in the gold teeth, chains. They came over here heavy, rings on every finger, mouth full of gold, because that was the only way they could smuggle their money out of the country. And then you began to see cats getting gold fronts. Kango hats, it's a British thing. Clark Wallabies, a British thing, right? The Bally shoes, these were things we didn't never heard of in New York till these Jamaican cats came rocking that. And that's when I went to Music and Art in 1980, was on 137th and Convent Avenue. So I used to meet Dana Dane in J Street in the last car of the A train, and we would ride the 125th, get off, get the CC to 135th, and then walk up that hill. And there was cats from every borough, right? So Dana was part of a crew called the Kango Crew with Ricky D. And they dressed a certain way that, yo, they was trendsetters. Furry Angora beaver Kangos. They was coming to school every day with the skinny ties and the cardigans buttoned up, some baggy soft pants and ballet shoes.
Fiesta Valley.
Yeah, everybody else still wearing Pumas and BVD nylons. So that opened our eyes. Like I was saying, New York was an amalgam of all these different cultures. And we always welcome new immigration. They came here first, right? So every wave, they brought their own little flavor.
Yeah, I wanted you to talk about that, like in the high schools back then when, you know, all the West Indians and Americans, I know it was hard.
It was a rough time because, again, people was choosing sides. If you went to a high school like Brooklyn Tech or whatever, that there was a magnet school for the 5 boroughs, even though it's public school, you gotta take a test to get in.
Right.
So all my cats from uptown in the BX, they was Zulu Nation, wearing beads, right? Most of my dudes from Brooklyn was becoming 5% God body, right? And you had a lot of beef. Dudes was, again, pick a side, choose who you down with. And I never really fit in with any of that. So I just did my own thing and I somehow got along with everybody. But graffiti writers, we all rock together because we wanted to go all city. Some dudes couldn't leave their neighborhood. Shit was very territorial. This block was Tomahawks, this block was Homicides, this block was Jolly Stompers, and you couldn't cross. So graffiti writers were the first ones you seen walking all city. Now I'm going to the top of the Bronx to hit the 2s and 5s. I'm going to hit the A yard under Linden Plaza houses. I'm 12 years old. 3 in the morning, I'm in East New York. A little white boy, right? I'm going to, even out here, they had the M yard in Ridgewood. So different neighborhoods you couldn't go. They would chase you out. But because we moved together, it'd be 2 black kids, 2 Puerto Ricans, and a white boy. They didn't know what to make of it, right?
The writers.
The neighborhood, even older cats, there were places, okay, if you went to Morris Park in the Bronx, white dudes would chase you out. Okay, it's like Howard Beach, or they were trying to keep their neighborhoods segregated. But I could go, but my boy couldn't go, right?
Right.
Another neighborhood, he could go, but I couldn't go, right? So when I roll with them, now say we're in New Lots, where the yard is, 2s and 5s. Cats, when they stop him and say, yo, who's this white boy? Nah, he's with me, he's cool. He's alright, he's with me.
Right.
You get a pass. In another neighborhood, it might be me that gets confronted. Yo, what you doing with these? I don't even want to say them type of words. They was very popular in the 70s, okay? It was nothing to say them. Now people real sensitive, right? So, but we all snapped on each other, and we called everybody guineas and Jew bastards, and we laughed about it.
Right.
Cause we had love for each other. And we had each other's back when the shit hit the fan.
Right.
So we could make them kind of jokes, right? We talk about you. If I liked you, I talk about your mama all day. That's how you knew we was cool. If I didn't like you, I was real polite. You know what I'm saying? So it was a different time and place. But graffiti writers, they carried back to their neighborhoods. They met other cats, and they brought tapes of the Cold Crush from uptown back to Brooklyn. Cats would hear it. They even brought the styles, because you knew by how a dude dressed what neighborhood he was from. Now with the homogenization, you just look at YouTube and you can see what cats down south wear, what cats in Cali wear, right? And you just like, oh, this is what they doing in Harajuku, Japan. Let me do that. With no real understanding of why they were doing that.
Right.
Where does this come from? When I saw cats wearing no shoelace and their pants hanging low, and Run DMC really brought the world no shoelaces. But before that, when I saw cats in the hood wearing it, they didn't even understand where that came from. Dudes went through the bookings, they took your shoelaces and belt. Your pants was sagging, so them dudes would come home, they couldn't go back to get their property yet.
Right.
And they were the toughest cats on the block. They come through, they just got out of jail, they ain't get their little property back, they robbing you. So you just got robbed by a dude holding his pants up with one hand and no shoelace.
You started seeing that as a style, little by little, even downtown Brooklyn.
Yes.
Started seeing that. Like,
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm talking like 88, around there, 89.
But what's the functionality?
No, I understand. It just became something else.
What's the functionality? Because.
But that's hip hop, like you said before. We always take it.
Right.
We incorporate it.
But you have to understand where it comes from. It's like now everybody got tattoos on and shit. Don't even know what some of them tattoos mean. God forbid you get knocked and gotta go through the system and somebody gonna confront you about that. Everything ain't fashion, everything ain't for everybody. It's like I said, my best friend Taru at Music and Art, we was in a little MC crew together. We used to walk together, but he changed his name to True God. And he began to build with the older guards would confront him. Yo, how you see today's mathematics, God? I knew it was time for me to fall back.
Right.
Let them do their thing. Everything ain't for me.
Right.
I don't gotta be down with everything. You understand?
Yeah.
So now cats wanna wear an MC vest with a top rocker and a bottom rocker. Like that shit is fashion. Not understanding that there's dudes who bled and died for that shit. There's cats who went to jail for that shit. There's cats who will still check you for that.
Right.
So you got some fake, Sons of Anarchy shit on, and you walk on the wrong block, them cats are still out there, outlaws. Will make you take that shit off to walk down the block, or worse. So every fashion, if you don't understand the origin, the meaning behind it, don't just put anything on, man. Just because you can. I remember it was Dana Dane's birthday party, right? And it's just a funny story, because Dana Dane was always a good guy, man. Even though he grew up in Fort Greene, with the Killers. He was a nice dude.
No doubt.
Yeah, they all knew him and respect him.
Right.
50 Cent, rest in peace. All that was his family.
Right.
I walked with him through Fort Greene. He got love, but he never put himself out there as a tough guy or a killer, right? So it was his birthday party at what was that, MI6, M16, some little club they had down Canal Street recently. I went, he was on the mic doing a little show, you know, they was asking him to perform. He's like, man, I'm trying to enjoy my own birthday party, you know what I mean? He's having a drink, feeling nice. Come on, man, do Nightmares. So he got on stage, he said, all right, he seen them kids in the front, the retro kids they call
Oh,
them.
okay, yeah.
Right. So he said, well, if I'm gonna do this, I need some Kazals. Let me hold those. Boom, put them on. Said, I need a chain. Yo, my man, let me hold your chain. Dude gave it to him. Boom, put it on. Said, I need a Kango. Let me get that. Boom. Put the whole uniform on. Then he went to Jet. Boom. You got. He said, I'm just playing with you, but never give a man, never give a next man your chain.
You already know.
Right? So he was teaching them a lesson with a little humor behind it. Because, you know, it used to be consequences to wearing certain things. Just the way you had your shoelaces laced up. Dudes that confront you.
But like you said just now, like Dana, you see how Dane rocked them to sleep? Like, yo, you my dude, nah, we good, da-da-da-da. Mad people got done.
Yeah.
Rabbit ear pockets.
Yeah.
Just by thinking that's
Humble,
his dude.
humble,
Yeah.
humble
For real, taking their kindness for weakness.
Humble,
Like, nah, this my man, nah, I know him.
Humble shit.
2 hours now, I know him. Nah, he good with me. Next thing you know, by the end of the day,
Bang,
this
bang.
dude slumped
Yeah.
over somewhere. Facts. Yeah.
Your pockets ripped right off your pants. Yeah. But the point is, for me to dress the way that I dressed, just to get on the train, I had to be ready to defend that. Cats, just the way you had your shoes tied or the way that you walk. Yo, you think you hard? Why you diddy bopping, son? Yo, come here, money. Let me see those. What size is those? You know what I mean? It can escalate real quick.
And they want to see your face expression change. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I got him now. Nah, come here. Let me talk to you.
And depending on how you reacted,
Right.
it could turn into, nah, you cool, man. We just testing you. You all right, man. We just fucking with you. Or
Yo.
it could escalate real quick.
Who quarters is these on the game? Nah, these
Oh,
mine right here.
yeah.
Remember all of that
Everything
at the
was a
pizza
test,
shop,
see?
son. Yeah,
Everything
son.
was a test.
Motherfuckers that light your clothes on fire while you playing.
Son, see,
Like
how
that lighter.
you, see how you react if you go home early after a nigga tell you, yo, 3 o'clock, son. We squaring up, 3 o'clock.
But it was a different vibe because, like myself, I never wanted to be a tough guy. I never wanted to be a killer. I wanted to be a pretty boy. I wanted to pull bitches.
There you go.
Right? That's why we wanted to dress fly.
No doubt.
Now everybody want to be a savage or something. We wanted to be. We was already savage. You coming from savage.
Exactly.
That was a given.
Exactly.
You wanted to prove you was a
Better.
Yeah, man. I'm
Good.
flying.
Better life.
Yes. Dudes wanted to be
Just to show you look good, you feel good.
refined.
That's it. Right.
Refined, right? Dudes sought to elevate. Now dudes, maybe that came from the West Coast with all that gangster rap. We caught a wind of that and it became cool to be some kind of a criminal. But dudes was already criminals. They was trying to, you know, a girl wasn't messing with you if you, that was common. You wanted to stand out from the crowd. Everybody was a stick-up kid in Brooklyn. Everybody would yoke you and run your pockets. That was not fly. In fact, all the first MCs that I looked up to, you know, it said me, the Doc, a Hood, a Rock, running around the street robbing people on the block.
Nah,
that's
not
not
my
my style. Right?
Shout out you to your folk.
Yeah.
Flatbush all day.
Or what did Rick say to Mona Lisa? Calling me a thief? Be quiet. Be quiet. I work hard for the money. See? So we wanted to have a mouthful of gold teeth, but we wanted to you know, be a little more refined with it. Because we grew up broke. Now I see kids who grew up with money and privilege and a nice house wanting to be hood. Wanting to be, I'm thorough. I'm a killer, I'm a savage. Why you wanna be that? Like, enjoy your life. You come from some place with trees and flowers and birds.
Nah,
then
but
live
they
your
don't
life.
see it as the parents is showing them like, I did that so you don't have to do that. You know what I mean?
But
So
shit is
that's
soft right now.
So all the way.
When shit was hard, it wasn't fly to be hard, cause even the soft dudes had to be hard, right? It was fly to be sophisticated, to be something better than. Now this shit is cake, right? Anybody can walk anywhere, any time of night. You can walk your dog with yoga pants on Franklin Avenue and Bed-Stuy at 3 in the morning, and you safe, right? So now dudes wanna be gangster. And a lot of them, I remember you back then, you was not a gangster. You was going out of your way to be something other than. I chose graffiti as a path not to get into worse shit. You see what I'm saying? It was gangs, it was drug dealing, it was all kind of, you know, I had to pick a lane, man. I chose one where it was a little easier. I wasn't trying to be a killer, man. You know, I seen the killers. I know where they wind up. Green Haven or Greenwood Cemetery. It's all green.
It's all
Yeah, man, it's not easy being green.
So Keo, where do you see? So what do you think about graffiti and everything? I know you was talking about it. You know, people are starting to get corporate sponsorships and all that.
Yeah, man. I do it. I take jobs. I'm designing an Adidas shoe right now. I've done, you know what I mean? And they want me because of graffiti.
Yes.
And I try to push them the other way. Because I think graffiti all over a sneaker is gonna be ugly, man. Like some Mark Echo 90s shit.
Right.
I'm like, yo, let's keep it old school and simple, you know, pick a nice colorway. Maybe I'll put my tag on the inside somewhere. You know? I like subtle shit. I'm not on that super flamboyant, you know?
It ain't needed.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, back to your question. Where do I see it going?
Yeah, I mean, like, where do you see it at right now?
It's exploded to the point where other countries are doing it, and I'm sure you guys see this in the dance or whatever, that other places are keeping it more traditional, more real than it is here.
Right.
So
They respect the essence of the culture in the beginning.
they study the history,
Right.
which cats here don't seem to give a fuck about. They want to look at a YouTube and get everything quick, and then, oh yeah, I mastered that, I'm on to something else. No, they never even scratched the surface, right? I could be a DJ, I downloaded the app, look. Okay, what's next, right? So, there's cats in Australia, in Poland, in Rome, in all over the world, former Soviet countries, South America, that are still crushing trains, be doing top to bottoms, pushing styles forward, illegally, without a paint sponsor, without a gallery, without a corporate, no.
You know what makes me mad? That they come over here to these yards.
Why that makes you mad?
Because the one people here is not doing that. It takes them to come over here and do a full car and bounce and take pictures and get fame, and us here, you still doing a little wall. You can't do a whole car too.
Here's the thing, is
You gonna let them come over here and do that shit?
well, let me speak on that, cause I've done it. Me, James Ty, PG3, rest in peace, bunch of.
No, hold on. I mean, but look, I don't mean salute to them.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that's like crazy how they so into it. They're gonna come
So
over
let me
here.
explain the
Go to
science
the
behind it.
You mean?
They got a Vandal squad now with cameras, facial
I know.
recognition software, everything. So we did it. I relapsed and went back and like the old time. You ever see the movies where a bunch of old guys get the gang back together and go rob a bank and they all 80 years old or something? It was like that. We went and we crushed the 3 yard, 148th Street in the east side, you know, Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
It's under a school.
Yeah.
I mean, we did our thing. We smashed every car in there, and I could speak on it because we already, you know,
That's
I
beautiful
got
thing.
bagged.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Behind that,
they didn't catch us in the act, which in my day, the Vandal Squad, they had to chase you through the train tracks.
Mhm.
You ain't catching me. No, they go off of footage on a video. They've tracked you down. They come to your house. It was 3 years later. They was sitting outside my crib with a warrant. Okay, statute of limitations damn near ran out. They charged me with a felony. They wanted to make an example out of it.
Right.
Giuliani time, right? They wanted to hit me with 5 years. I had to call Ron Kuby from William Kunstler Associates, okay? These are the cats that defended the FALN bombers. These are the cats that walked in the yard at Attica during the riots, when the whole motherfucking National Guard was on the wall aiming, ready to let off to defend the prisoners, okay? He took my case for free because I could not afford him, right? And I beat that charge, but the point is, they are not playing with it.
and I'm playing
So-
right.
You can come on vacation, do something, and go back to your country.
And you, all right, I
And you
got you.
might get away with it. But if you live here, they will track you down and they will try to serve you. Now, it still gets done. Cats just don't post it to social media. You gotta wait 7 years till the statute of limitations is up to post those
there you go,
pictures.
boss.
So there's a lot of pictures coming out.
So what's being done today, in 7 years, you might hear about it, okay?
Cause I was with them for a minute and I was seeing stuff at the yard. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, well,
But you could tell it's not from here, it's the, you know what I mean?
So what you feel about like, you know, like our friend and friend of the podcast, Jesse Pais,
That's
doing
my
the
man.
doing the rooftop legends on his school,
I like that.
you know, with all the legendary.
We're going again this year?
Yeah, of course,
When
of
is
course, every year, you know.
Coming up, right?
Yeah, he'll give me the date shortly. you
See,
know.
Holla at me.
a lot of graffiti writers, and graffiti is a young man's sport. By the time we were 16 or 18, you were done. You
Mhm.
retired. You see what I'm saying? You moved on to other things. Some cats joined the army, some cats got a JOB. Start getting pussy, you don't wanna walk around with ink spots on your sneakers and
Right.
dirty track grease and shit.
Mhm.
So that's something I did from 9 years old till about 17, right? So a lot of cats went different routes, and Jesse became the dean of a high school.
Yes, sir.
And that was one of the, believe me, because when I got kicked out of music and art, I had to go to Sarah J. Hale, right? And that school had metal detectors early. Erasmus, Boys and Girls, Sarah J. Hale, those was the 3 highest crime schools in New York.
Yep.
Also had the 3 best basketball teams, coincidentally.
Alright.
Anyway. But that school, Seward Park, they had the first metal detectors because you had the Chinese kids going there, and then you had Hard Rocks from Avenue D, from the projects in the LES. They was trying to tax the little Chinese math nerds, right? Not knowing that they older brothers was ghost shadows and shit came back there. They was shooting up that school every day. That was running gun battles. I'm talking in the 70s. So there was a lot of beef at that school. Jesse became the dean, and they made it an art school, and what he's done is bring the real cats. He curates that. He makes sure it's not the fake, it's not watered down. You're gonna see authentic New York graffiti.
Salute.
These kids get to learn the history, man.
Salute.
So big up
Salute.
Jesse Pais.
No doubt.
EV1,
You already
extra
know.
vicious.
Definitely. You
But
gotta-
there's a lot of cats. My man Trike
Mhm.
and Trim from BYI, Chino's partner, they went into corrections. Now, you know, maybe I don't agree with that path, but I don't have to do that job. You understand? But for a lot of people in New York, that was only path they could choose. But rather than becoming, you know, corrupt or whatever, they took their position there to invite other graffiti artists to come in. And the same way I was saying, the fucked up schoolyard at PS 38, we used to decorate the wall, and the kids would begin to feel a sense of pride. Hey, maybe this is something I could do.
Exactly.
Maybe I could beautify my community. Maybe I could take ownership instead of waiting for the welfare to give me something they ain't giving me, right?
That's it.
We went in to what they call the Devorin Center. When I was there, we just called it C-74 Adolescents at War, right? We went into the yard in C-74 where they house juveniles, man, adolescents, and we painted their handball walls, just like we used to do, man. And they was on the yard watching us, see? We was interacting with them.
Right.
So Trim was the same one that was bringing them concerts. The Wu went there, Fat Joe went there for the kids to give them, and he fought hard because you know the administration, the powers that be, they don't want that. Nah. In fact, funny story, the first year they painted the wall, one of the cats they brought in, he's a famous old school graffiti writer from RTW. His tag is Revolt, R-E-V-O-L-T. So they didn't even think about this, right? They brought him into the yard. He does a blockbuster, legible. You could read it. It's funky. It's got style, burner colors, but it's R-E-V-O-L-T. That's the
In the
message.
jail yard. In the jail yard.
Be the warden or the superintendent, whatever they call the top dog now, walked in to see. Oh, this is lovely. What the fuck? And that's why I say if you're doing real hip hop, believe you know you're doing something when they call the cops to shut you down. Because real hip hop is revolutionary, B. It's a threat to the status quo. They were sending a message, peace, unity, love, and having fun. That's dangerous. They want you to be divide and conquer. Oh, Trump, vote for this man. Everybody picking us, even with the food, B. I try to take care of my health. I'm 52 years old, right? So people ask me about my diet. I know you getting there too. I see you in shape, you doing your thing, but I don't have dancing, so I had to calisthenics, then I took in Muay Thai, boxing, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Trying to just stay fit. After 40, everything you eat, it goes right here to your midsection. Your metabolism changes.
Yeah, we just build it on that too.
So a lot of my friends who they eat their traditional diet, whatever, and they beginning to suffer health problems. So they come to me and they ask me, oh, what are you doing? Keto? What the fuck is that? Are you vegan? What the fuck is that? Are you paleo? They want you to pick a path. And I said, listen, man, you blindly following somebody else's program. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's metabolism is different.
Yes,
what
sir.
I eat ain't gonna make you shit. You may have certain allergies and ailments, right? So you just gotta try for 90 days and see what the results are for you, right? You following somebody else's path, it's like saying, I'm a Democrat. Well, half of them motherfuckers is corrupt assholes too. You gonna vote for them just cause they Democrat? It comes back to the fashion. If Ralph Lauren put out a piece of bullshit, you gonna rock it just cause it say Polo on it?
Well, some people will.
Yes, they
That's
will.
the problem.
That's a blind follower. If the quality ain't there, and right now, I'm going to double RL. I see some quality in the performance line, polo tennis, polo golf. They still taping seams and making shit really waterproof, right? But if it's some Jimmy Jazz and just say polo all over it, and it ain't even double stitched, the shit gonna fall apart on it. I'm not following you just because of your brand or your name blindly. You gotta look a little deeper than that, man, and find out what really works for you. If I worked on a fishing boat off the coast of Maine. We went out of Rockport, all the way to Canadian waters, Nova Scotia, in the winter. That shit is treacherous. A lot of cats died out there. I tried to wear a Nautica jacket. B, they said, you better get you some Helly Hansen and Grundens of Sweden. because certain things are designed to look a way,
Right.
but they ain't really built for that.
It ain't playing the part.
Just like his cats look a certain way, but if you test them, yo, money, what you wanna do for that chain? Yo, what you wanna do for them Kazals? They gonna fold up like an envelope. They gonna get wet just like that Nautica jacket. It got a picture of a sailboat on it, but it ain't really built for a sailboat.
Right.
Helly Hansen, now that shit will save your life,
No doubt.
right? So it ain't just a name, it gotta be something behind it. So whatever you claim, X-Men, Low Life, D7, whatever you better be able to back that and understand why that originated. It ain't a fashion thing. I remember seeing, like I said, the first wave of Rastas that came over, Jamaicans, dreads. They had a spiritual belief behind why they wore their hair a certain way. So when Yankee Boy try to wear that, they would step to you. Dread not fashion, not fashion thing. They would scalp you. I seen dudes get their shit cut right off, right? So they don't understand. It's like I go to DC now, big up the DMV area, PG County, my wife's family from there. And I see everybody wearing New Balance and got little dreads. And I said, where they get that from? And I do the history. Cats from New York was coming down there bringing drugs, right?
I've been saying that.
Right. And they say, oh, New Balances, that's a DC thing. No.
I've been saying that. People get mad when I say it.
Where you got it from?
New York.
Where did you see that? So a cat named Rayful Edmonds, right? He had a hitman down with him, was from here, from Brooklyn,
Right.
to hold him down. That was the cat that they called when somebody needed to be dealt with, right? The enforcer. And that cat came with dreads and New Balance, 1300s, right? So a lot of cats grew up looking at him, just like we were studying the Rude Boys that came here because they had a whole different flavor. We adapted the style of some West Indian cats, right? And it's nothing wrong with paying homage to where that came from. You understand?
I like that word.
Yeah, homage.
It's a good word though, right?
Homage.
Oh, nah. Homage.
Homage.
Homage is better.
Talking about homage, yeah. Another friend of the podcast, he on the live, Niso.
Words.
Yes, yes.
Said salute to you.
Big up Nicio. Big up my man Has Uno.
Oh,
I love
dang.
that cat.
Salute that. For real. No doubt.
Yeah,
These stories is legendary.
I told you this is gonna be a good one.
Yeah, it's a
I
great
knew
one.
it.
The big up the whole CMMIC. That's another story I ain't even touch on, where a lot of this shit comes from Manhattan.
Talk about it.
And they talking about, oh, the Bronx, Brooklyn. B, Upper West Side was a hub of creativity. So the cats that I studied graffiti under, a lot of them was TC5, then IBM, then FC. They was also, the same cats was Rocksteady, the Electric Boogaloo, the same dudes. They was like Renaissance B-boys. Those, Fable, Wiggles, Frosty, rest in peace. Them dudes was all kings of graffiti, style masters, B. All of them could burn you in 3 different art forms and snap on your mom and dress better than you. So a lot of them CM cats was the next generation of growing up in that same little Amsterdam, you know, they call it the GOAT, they call it Rocksteady Park, they call it the Happy Warrior Playground. Be that one little area, it ain't quite Harlem, it ain't quite
Downtown.
the nice part of Manhattan.
Right.
They was on the fringe, but they got a little bit of everything. A lot of creativity came out of there, man. Big up all them cats. Curious George, my brother.
No doubt.
MF Grimm, I see you.
Aight.
Yes, Monster Island Czars for life.
MF Grimm, the artist, right? The hip hop artist.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah, they was all.
Yeah.
You ever see a movie called Wild Style?
Of course.
Yeah.
The woman car break down in South Bronx.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the graffiti artist. She said, we all graffiti artists. Everybody I'm talking about. It's funny because I talk to cats who are graffiti writers from all over the world now. And some of them started in the 90s. And they like, yo, the artifacts. They was bigging up graffiti, right? And that's my people. I love you, Tane. That's my brother.
No doubt.
DJ Porno. Those is my peoples, right?
Elder Sensei.
L. But they was graffiti writers.
No doubt.
And they was like, yo, Fat Joe wrote, KRS wrote, who else wrote? I'm like, B, everybody wrote.
Mhm.
Big Daddy Kane, Large Professor, they all got a better hand style than most of these kids call themselves graffiti writers today. DJ Clark Kent, ask him to sign his name. These cats was nice with it. Now, some didn't follow, you had to pick at some point. Right, I decided the arts was for me.
Right.
I wasn't gonna be the best dancer. I was pretty nice with MCing. I battled a lot of cats that went on to have a name and toasted them. But it was about maybe 87, maybe even 86. I heard this record called My Melody. And that man said, my strategy has to be tragedy, catastrophe. And after this, you call me your majesty. And I said, you know what, I'm done. I can't top that. I'm never gonna be better than that dude. So I'm gonna focus on what I could really make a mark in. Right. Cause I wanted to be the best in whatever I did. And I don't think nobody top rock him yet, really.
I don't know about that.
Who do you think top for?
Lyrically.
Lyrically.
You can make a better song, have a better production.
Nah. Or the Jizza, Genius.
I don't
Sleep on
think-
Genius.
I don't-
Come on, man, stop it. Sleeping on Genius.
I like non-style.
Shit.
When I first heard his record, I swore to God it was my man Tragedy Gaddafi. When I heard the first Nas record, like 93, I wasn't even in New York. People say, yo, check this out. I said, yeah, man, trash.
Intelligent hoodlum.
He studied under the masters. He comes from a lineage.
Yes. I saw this Rakim though.
Yes, and you have to. And these cats today don't have that. Well, few and far between.
Look, I was talking the other day with somebody and I was asking them,
The Jizza, the RZA, they're old, B. They was listening to the Cold Crush. They my age.
who's the next prophet in rap? Nas was the last one. Who's the next one? Like, I don't see it. I don't see a new prophet coming out like that. No time soon, unless something changes.
What I'm gonna tell you right now might piss some people off, but it's my opinion. If you feel different,
Go ahead,
that's okay. Hip hop was something we did as a rebellion against what our parents had done. It was a reaction to the disco and all, you know what I'm saying? Our parents said, that ain't music, that's noise. The jazz dudes wanted to go to war with us. Turn that garbage off, okay? So now, you got second generation rappers. Their father was a rapper before them. You got grandkids. Rap. I'm like, that ain't where the new shit gonna come from. The new shit, hip hop,
There's gotta be the struggle.
the new shit ain't for me. I'm a 52-year-old white man. I'm supposed to say, what the fuck is that? If I like it, you doing something wrong, B. That shit's supposed to sound alien to me. That shit's supposed to be threatening to me. If our generation is feeling it, you ain't doing it right. Because that's the nature of rebellion. You have to go totally against the establishment. Hip hop or rap or whatever you want to call it has been established for so long. The next shit, the revolutionary shit, the prophets, it might already be started in Japan or Brazil or somewhere. We ain't heard it yet, but it ain't gonna sound like what you listen to.
It's not supposed to, it's just supposed to be but it ain't gonna sound like this.
It's gonna be alien.
It gotta
to you.
sound like rap music. It
It's
gotta
gonna
sound
make you wanna run and tuck your chain in.
But
If that
look-
music don't make you scared, they ain't doing it right. Cause who's the youngest cat at this table right now? Probably you, Babyface. How old are you?
43.
43, exactly. This shit is supposed to make 15-year-old kids wanna run your pockets. When I first heard
True, that is true.
When I first heard Ghost Stetzer
Mm.
in the club, those drums, okay, that made Brooklyn cats want to transform.
Like
If you're-
tribal drums.
Yeah,
Brooklyn,
B.
for real.
Yes. What? Yeah, somebody's chain was getting snatched. Cutmaster DC, go Brooklyn.
Word
Okay,
up.
the last record I heard that really made me feel like that was maybe Annie Up or that Pharoah Monch shit, Get the Fuck Up.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yeah.
That music supposed to make you a little frightened. It ain't supposed to feel safe and pop.
Brace yourself for the awesome red.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Facts. Right. Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
Real.
Come on. I still put that shit on and feel away.
Yeah, you still get that feeling.
That's old English 800 music. Make you slap your own mama.
Yeah, like anytime you hear Annie Up, it's on.
It's a problem.
No matter where you hear it,
Right.
you still go crazy.
So hip hop is not that anymore. It's become safe, and it's become okay to not only take someone's lyrics. I don't know when that became okay.
Thank you.
To do a cover of somebody else's song.
Nah,
But
cover
to-
is rock and roll. Cover is
yeah.
not hip hop.
Okay, hip hop, we used to flip the tune from a regular pop record
Like the
or
Force
a
and the D's
commercial
with the Fat Boy. They did the
yeah.
Gilligan's Island shit.
Yeah,
The little
or a
routine.
TV thing, but
Turn
you
it
never
into a
took
routine.
somebody else's rhyme. I think the first person I heard to do that was Snoop Dogg remade La Di
I
Da
couldn't agree
word
with
for
that.
word.
I didn't agree with that.
But now you got cats, they living off of Big L and Big E's lyrics, and
But look-
you got cats walking. Well, I Googled Rakim, and a reggaeton artist came up. That's the first thing comes up on Google. Somebody calling himself Rakim.
Mm-hmm.
If you put NAS or the letters
Little
that
Nas
spell,
X dude.
there's about 3 different Nas's
Mhm.
rhyming right now. ASAP Nas, however he
Yeah,
says
yeah.
it. I don't know, but it's NAS. Little Nas, what? Yeah.
Little
Nas
Nas
X.
X,
But
yeah.
that's why hip hop is dead, man. Let's be real.
Thank
Because
you.
like
so why are you looking for a prophet? to come
because
out
somebody
out of a
because
dead
Jesus
culture?
gotta come back and resurrect the dead.
Yeah, but he might not look like you think he's going.
I don't care about how he looked. I wanna know what's coming out of his mouth.
He might not come from where you
Yeah.
think he
What you
coming
want to
from.
hear. Yeah.
I'm talking about for rap. So we can get back to lyrics.
When
That's all.
Jesus walked, he flipped over the tables.
We
He
need
told
New York,
motherfuckers
look,
they doing shit all
We need
wrong.
New York to get back to being New York.
Yes.
That's
thank
the
you.
big problem. New York is not New York no more.
The problem is
That's it.
nobody getting punched in their face anymore.
Yeah.
That's the main.
Everybody's
problem.
getting
There's
participation
no
trophies.
consequences. Everything is not for everybody. Now I teach kids graffiti, right? And people bring me their kid, yo, can I pay you to teach my kid how to? First of all, the cats who taught me, they didn't charge me money, but it was blood, sweat, and tears. I used to rack paint for them. I used to have to fill in they shit, be the lookout. You know what I mean? I paid my dues and other
Just like the
ways.
guy carrying the crates for the DJs, everybody gotta pay their fucking dues.
So I look at a kid, I say, well, look, what's he got? Show me, do something. Boom. I tell his parents, you know what? This ain't for him.
It's gotta be from the heart, man.
But I'll pay you.
Can you
No, I cannot teach that kid. Take him to soccer camp.
You can't
Take-
teach experience.
Right. Right.
You gotta experience and live through it.
My man, I never wanted to rhyme. I wanted to be able to sing like Al Green. But you know what?
It wasn't
I
working.
ain't got it. I ain't got it.
I wanna play like Darryl Strawberry,
Right.
but I couldn't do that.
Everything
either.
ain't for everybody, and right now we're telling people that they entitled, that they allowed.
Well, you
to
getting
do whatever.
participation trophies now, just for being there, you getting a medal.
Listen,
That's the problem.
I used to live in downtown Brooklyn. Right?
Where?
We moved around a lot. We was
too.
poor. But
Me
my
too.
first place was Nevins and Dean, right
Mhm.
between Wyckoff and Gowanus Projects, near Atlantic Terminals, right?
Right.
Okay, so I go there now. They got the Barclays Dominion, whatever that is,
Mhm.
right?
They don't look the same no more. You can't even recognize
I
it.
came out the train and I saw two DTs. They was wearing Islanders jerseys, big white boys. I said, oh shit, DTs. Then I seen the whole block was big white boys with Islanders jerseys on,
Game is on.
Mm-hmm.
acting rah-rah. They didn't even feel a way about walking through Brooklyn. They was coming from Long Island for a game. I said, you can't even tell who's police anymore. It's not fair. The rules have changed.
Downtown was the shit.
So I used to travel, as I said, as a graffiti writer. I was in other people's neighborhoods. I've been all over the world. I've been in the favelas, in the mountain,
Mhm.
in
Brazil.
Rio de Janeiro. I've been in the jungles of Guyana. I've been in Jamaica. I've been in even in Spain, in fucking Barcelona, in Raval. Dudes will test you.
Mm.
If you don't walk with respect, if you don't carry yourself a certain way, you supposed to get got.
No doubt.
You can't come to somebody else's town and just start flamming.
Especially in the favelas,
Yeah, B.
yeah, they definitely.
They had little kids with no shoes on, got an AK-47.
Mm.
How you got no shoes, but you got a brand new, fully automatic?
Mhm.
Your priorities a little different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That tells me that I better move with a certain amount of respect.
Right.
You don't just come to somebody's area and act like you belong there.
Step on toes.
So the first thing I do when I get to a new town, I go to the barber shop. I'll get a shape up. And I just feel the vibes, cause that's where you really gonna see the run-ins. But that's where dudes come together and talk shit. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So everywhere I go out, I was in Georgetown, Guyana, my first time there. Now wifey got family and uncles there, they look out, oh, we'll pick you up,
You took your trip recent, or you about to go out? I told you.
Which
said
one?
You was going back to Guyana soon, right?
Yeah, we going back.
That's what's
I
up,
just
man.
came back from Montserrat. That's a volcano, that's beautiful. We seen Junior Reed and Turbulence, young boy named Turbulence from Jamaica perform out there. It was nice. But Georgetown, I left my wifey's family. I stay in the hotel. Nah, I'm good. I need to go get my hair cut. First thing I do is go to the barber shop, feel the vibes, talk to people regular. You know what I mean? I don't try to perpetrate or whatever. And you get a sense.
So you don't go over there and be like, yo, what's going on, Bana?
Yeah, man.
You dip on scunt.
You know what the first thing they ask me? The first thing they ask, oh yeah, you here for the cricket? But they ain't never seen a white boy.
Right.
Unless you a British man coming there for the cricket. There's coolie people them and nigger people them. Pardon my language, but that's how they speak. There's East Indian, there's African descent, there's Amerindians, and then there's what they call Douglas people then, which is all mixed up. And it's a couple little Chinese because Chinese everywhere in Canada.
Alright?
Yeah. So, but white people ain't really rocking down there. So they ask me, what you here for, the cricket? What the fuck is cricket? I don't even know what that is. You talking grasshoppers? Y'all eat that shit? But I'm trying to be respectful and learn the flow. You know what I mean? When you there, you gonna eat some curried iguana. That's just, So
Wild week.
if you come to Brooklyn, yeah, all are welcome. And this has always been a place where different cultures emigrated, right? Even today, I'm living in Sunset Park because I can't afford my old neighborhood no more. They price me out. They keep pushing. I'm gonna be in Staten Island before they done. But where I live, it's not just Mexicans and Chinese. Now it's El Salvadorian, Ecuadorian,
Dominican.
Peru. When I was a kid, it was Irish and Puerto Rican.
Dominican, so the
Only.
90s.
Every Spanish dude in New York, you was a Puerto Rican. You might have been from Dominican Republic. You might even been from Cuba. You was a Puerto Rican. Power rule. There was only one kind of Spanish.
Puerto Rican.
Now we got Central America, South, all over, right? So we welcome new immigration, but just like if I go to your country, I'm supposed to move with a certain respect.
Right.
Now, we never had a fucking white boy from Iowa move to Brownsville. He thinks he's in Ocean Hill because they told him he was somewhere he ain't. He's in Bushwick and think it's East Williamsburg, right?
Mm-hmm.
And don't know nobody, don't know the run-ins, and just want to set up shop. And you want to open a Wild West hunting bar. Why? I'm not going to come to your town and try to change your culture, right? You could have stayed in Iowa if you want to open a Wild West hunting bar with fucking deer heads on the wall. That's not.
Nah, but if the city giving you the permits
There
and
you
licenses
go.
say you
And
can
they don't
do
care,
it,
and they
they're
don't
like,
care that you don't wanna be there, they know
what do
they
you
got,
mean I can't do this?
they know they got more people coming, so they don't
The
even care.
paperwork says I can.
It's
It's
about
part of the
dollar.
takeover, it's part of the takeover.
They dumb enough to pay $4,000 for a one-bedroom.
They don't
apartment.
see it the way you
So
see
they
it
are
though.
welcome,
You
and
don't
the
see it the way
police
you
will
see it.
protect them as
Mhm.
long as they stupid enough to pay $4,000 for one bedroom with roaches.
You got
Yeah,
that right.
It's crazy down there, bro. Like the
All
rent.
over the place,
It's
man.
it's astronomical. Like it's
B, when I first came home, I was on Franklin Ave, and I know, I had been out of New York for years. And I came back around 96, and I said, what the fuck is going on? First of all, I got off, I used to work in a weed spot on 100 Myrtle. It was the first block of Myrtle before the courts. I got out the train to J Street, I was lost, because the block is gone. They built a Metro Tech. Yo, that shit got Homeland Security, fucking cameras on you. I was in a fishbowl. I said, wait a minute. Which way is Myrtle Avenue? I was lost. I found my bearings, right? Because there's all these new landmarks and shit is physically different. But then I seen it was culturally different. So I found a few of the old heads that I know that's still alive, bless them. They might have come home from 15 or whatever, but they back now.
Right.
And I said, yo, what's up with all these UFOs on the block? Y'all ain't robbing them? Why nobody digging their pockets? I said, man, we don't fuck with them. They make it hot. They make it hot. So that's what's missing. Is it's free for all. There's no consequences to walking around la-di-da. Nobody's testing you. If you used to say you was a lowlife, well, who put you down? Who you know?
Who gave you the hours?
Right. If you tell me you X-Men, fuck is you? Who put you down? And you better say the right name. It's just like when the older guards in 1980 approached my man Taru and they said, how you see today's mathematics. If he didn't have his shit right, they was gonna give him a universal beatdown. And that, I couldn't jump, I can't help you, B. Because you chose that path. You understand? Same thing with Zulu. They had certain lessons and you better know your shit. Right? There was consequences to everything. Same thing with the white boys had Hell's Angels clubs and all that. You couldn't front. You could not front if you was not official. You understand? Somebody had to vouch for you. I could go to other neighborhoods because I knew someone there who was respected. And they'll ask you real quick, yo, who you know here? Who you come to see? And you could leave butt naked with your socks on. So that's gone. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, the violence or whatever, but it kept a certain checks and balances.
Well, it kept the code.
Yeah, man.
No code no more.
Yeah. So I'm not an advocate of punching people in the face randomly, but there has to be some sort of consequences to if I do something. See, if I said I wanted to write graffiti, the older cats would test me. Yo, let me see your black book. Let me see that marker. Yeah, that's mine. And just not because they hated me, not because they wanted to do me bodily harm, but because they wanted to see if I was gonna put my hands up. Was I worthy? Did I have the heart? A lot of people had the artistic talent, but did you have the heart it was gonna take, right? And if you fought for yours and came, even if you took an ass whooping, you came back next week, right? They said, you know what? we're gonna put you down with the crew. You're official. Cause how can I tell somebody online, I met him on Facebook, never met him in real life. Yo, you got nice style, man, put up X-Men. I don't know his character, right? Maybe he's a pussy. And letting dudes hurt him. Now they coming back to me, oh yeah, X-Men is pussy. I took his paint. Maybe he's some type of child molester, snitch or something, even worse. Maybe he's touching little kids, right? And they say, oh yeah, I heard about X-Men. So it's not just about how it looks on the surface, right? So I was never low life. I knew some of them cats because I was running around downtown Brooklyn, Fort Greene, and we had a little crew that went boosting and we did our thing. But I knew, you know, Monton and G. George and some of these people. We had respect, and I never front. Even though I always wore polo, I'm not gonna throw up 2L because nobody made me official. Nobody said, yo, rep that. I want you to be part of the team. Why would I front, right? Just because you have the garment, anybody could buy that shit. These dudes bled. They went to jail. You know what I'm saying? If you couldn't wear that Suicide Goose on the Franklin Avenue shuttle in '87, how the fuck you gonna, you know what I'm saying? How you gonna rep it now?
They hustling backwards. That's all I can say.
Yeah, but
Shit's going backwards.
see what I seen in Europe and other places is when the economy crashed, things turns around, and a hungry man is an angry man, right? And you flashing and you flamming and you flaunting what you got, and trust is coming here. That economic downturn is coming.
Yeah, definitely coming.
Right.
You can see it.
And once people are hungry, you're gonna have to fight to hold on to what you got.
No doubt.
You wanna wear a certain type of glasses, or you wanna walk with your fucking iPhone staring at it. You're not even aware of your surroundings. You don't know where you are. You're looking at a GPS to tell you how to get to the corner store, right? Somebody gonna take that phone from you. There's places in the world they'll chop your arm off to get the watch and the hand holding the phone, and think nothing of it, right? So if you're not built for it, don't. Everything ain't for everybody. Stay in your lane. I knew I wasn't a killer. I wasn't a drug dealer. You know what I'm saying? I tried my hand at it. I realized that what I was gonna have to do to maintain that. Okay, if you give a man a package to sell for you, and he shorts you or he runs off with your package, now you have to hurt that man. Even if that was your boy, you gotta hurt him and hurt him publicly to make an example so that everybody else knows, or they all gonna run off with your package, right? I said, do I really wanna be that guy? Is it worth it? Or I'm gonna have to hire a bunch of killers to hold me down, and then my profit's gone because I'm paying them. And what's keeping them from extorting me? So I said, you know what, everything is not for me, man. Let me just do me. I don't wanna be Thurston Howell. I don't wanna be Rayful Edmond. I don't wanna be nobody but Keo X. You know what I mean? I got my name, you understand? And for whatever it's worth, yeah, I wasn't the king. I wasn't, you know, but I was there. I did my thing. And nobody can say I never turned state's evidence. I never snitched. I went through the system. I've never been PC. And look, my name is Blake Letham, Lethem. So you can do the research. When I went through the island, and I'm not proud of this, it just is what it is. You understand? It was a violent time on the island. In fact, I was there when the Howard Beach shit went down. And they were setting it on anybody white. I never went PC. I never joined a clique. I never ganged up, none of that. I held my own, B. I'm not saying I'm a killer or a tough guy, but I know how to move with certain respect.
Facts.
Right? And I had an opportunity, like I said, some of the cats who I wrote graffiti with, they went into corrections. And by the time I was going through the 6th building, my man Trike was already a white shirt, a captain. I never asked him for shit, B. I said, yo, we'll talk on the outside. You know what I mean? Here, you don't know me. I don't know. We on different teams right now. Love you and everything. I see you in the world. I never asked for no mercy, no favors from nobody. So my name is all I got. Why would I try to be someone else? Why would I say I'm Freeway Ricky Ross?
No doubt.
You're not. You're not 50 Cent. You're not Killer Ben. Them dudes is dead. Let them rest in peace.
But the crazy thing is that's
You're
why
not
like
Supreme Magnetic. You're not any, you know, you can't just take a man's name.
after all these years and him saying these names, he was there with these names, and for me and him to have, you know what I'm saying, our friendship over these years, and he always been this cool dude with these stories. Just a pleasure. Just
yeah, everybody talk about Killer Ben now because the mural is still standing in the middle of the poshest block. Where the rents is astronomical. Coffee, I can't afford a coffee on that block anymore, but the mural's still standing, as it should, right? And because his name was mentioned by Rakim in a verse, right? But they don't know the story. I called him Killer Born, because that was his name. He became righteous at some point. And the most important name is the name that a man chooses for himself, you understand? The Native Americans, they wouldn't even name their baby until you prove yourself. What you did, your attributes, that gave you your name. Oh, that's he who hunts deers. That's who you are. Until then, your name was just, hey you, come in, yo baby. But you didn't earn the name. So the name that a man takes on, that's important. Why would you continue to call that man Ben when he chose the attribute born, right? Now today is Pride Day, right? They're having a big march. I support that. There was a chick nobody talks about anymore called Killer Brenda. And yeah, she was a dyke, but she dressed flyer than all the dudes, wore her jewels, always had a bad chick on her arm, and was legendary. 52 blocks would knock dudes out if you said something to her. That's why I respect, even though it's not my particular chosen path, I respect gay dudes, because if you grew up in the hood, them cats had to fight every goddamn day. They was some of the toughest cats you gonna meet. So if you gonna be that, be proud. You know what I mean? Be the best damn homo you could be. That's what I'm saying. Whatever you gonna be, don't be half-assed.
Right.
I meet cats today, they say, hey, Keo, you're a big inspiration. I say, word, what you write? Oh, I don't really. They start folding up. Oh, I just messed up. I said, no. Either you do or you don't. If you gonna do this, you gotta say your name.
No doubt.
Put some bass in your voice. Say it with your chest, right? Don't want to fold up now and say, oh, I just mess around. No, don't be halfway nothing. No such thing as halfway crooks.
So, on that note,
Yes.
we have reached our time limit. We've been talking for over 2 hours. So, Keo, what you have new on the horizon? Anything you want to share with the
Yeah, man, I'm working on an animated film, and I'm not going to be a halfway animator. I'm doing a series, so, you know, Netflix, Quibi, Hulu, who else we got? HBO.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Get at me. Adult Swim. I'm going to have a bidding war because we're doing something that's authentic, based on New York culture, that you can't get anywhere else. And I always did nice characters, but to take it to the animated level, that was a dream for me. And I'm learning something new at 52 years old. I'm learning how to make those characters move. walk and talk, you understand?
Mhm.
And based on this movie, The Spider-Verse, that just came out, cause I was already working on my shit, I seen the success of that,
Right.
that's gonna open the doors.
Mhm.
So, holler at me, HBO.
No doubt.
Yeah, I'm working on that, and I'm working on, farming. I wanna grow my own.
Mhm.
So, Guyana, here I come. I wanna be off the grid, I wanna have my own fresh water, coconuts and mangoes falling on the ground.
Mhm.
Y'all can have New York, all them dudes in the Islanders and Rangers jerseys,
Mm.
I surrender.
That's
Y'all
it.
win. You can have Brooklyn, I'm going.
Facts, that's how it's
Because
coming.
this used to be called New Amsterdam,
Mhm.
and the Dutch traded the English, right?
Mm.
Now New Amsterdam is in Guyana,
Mm.
okay? Manhattan Island used to be called New Amsterdam. And the Guyanese, they had the second successful slave rebellion after Haiti. Okay, they ran the Dutch out of there with machetes, they ran the British out of there, okay? So, I still got family there and a little farmland, and that's where New Amsterdam is now, that's the new New York.
Mhm.
So, I'm going to, yeah, Brooklyn ain't Brooklyn no more, y'all can have it, y'all can have it.
Definitely not. Do you want them to find you on Instagram, or you're just
Who?
like
Do I want whom to find it?
our fans?
Your fans, sure, sure, I love your fans, I love my fans, I love everybody's
You
fans.
already know.
Yeah, man, I'm not hard to find, like I said, I'm not, hiding, I just told y'all my government name.
Yeah.
So,
So what's the Instagram?
KEO _ X-Men, XMEN,
No doubt.
Keo X-Men. So there's a lot of, just like you can find 3 or 4 Nas's now,
Mm.
there's a lot of fake Keos out there, I see you.
They gotta give you that blue check soon.
You're never gonna go platinum with that name. Find your own.
Flatbush Corner, where can he find you?
Yeah, you know, Prancer 24/7 on IG on the Church Ave corner, representing for the community. Yo, check out STEM for YNN is supposed to finish up my flyers for June 20th. I
Big
mean
up
July
STEM.
20th.
Big
July
up
20th,
STEM.
my birthday party.
That's
So
a nasty
About the
writer.
you already know.
And give them an update on the Prince Low brand.
the clothes,
that you
yeah.
have.
Oh yeah,
Still
you know, we got the Been There Rock That t-shirts, we got the Prance Low Go Like Me, and then we got the Mom Duke's Crib, and all of those will be at the merch table at the Hip Hop Yardie Party.
When is that?
And that's
On-
7/20.
On the 20th.
Where?
July
On the 20th,
Where?
July 20th.
Where?
At my mom's crib in Flatbush, Church Ave, Albany, Linden Boulevard.
Yo,
Y'all know.
is that the same spot they filmed?
Wrecking Shop?
That was
Yeah.
your front porch?
Exactly.
Legendary.
So that's it.
legendary.
So we just trying to bring it back to where it all started
Mm.
from, you know what I mean?
Big up Diane Martell. I
Definitely,
see you.
legendary, definitely. You already
Blake,
know.
where can you find you?
Instagram at Blake Lowington, on Facebook and on YouTube. And watch out for more videos, they're coming. I'm coming back with the videos. Get ready for that.
Touch the items.
Early touch the item. Always touch, you must touch the item.
And you can find me on Instagram, Polo Parata. Double J Vintage is the store. We have, like Prince said, we have the Been There Rock That shirts,
Pins,
pins, and we're gonna be we're doing patches soon.
yes, very soon,
Coming soon.
very soon.
The sizes are very limited on the Been There Rock That shirts, so
But we're still taking pre-orders.
yes. So contact Prince. Don't contact me. I only have a couple
Yes,
sizes.
please, DM me.
Prince has most of the other sizes.
I'm on it, but it's just my printer right now. It's a situation where he's in Italy for the summer spring fashion show. So we on it though. Peace.
So again, thank you, Keo, for coming through.
Well, thank you for having me.
You have to come
Respect,
again.
Respect.
You know, so we can talk another two and
Two and change.
A good two and change.
Yes,
though.
very solid.
Very informative. This is
I
what this
appreciate you.
show is about. You
And
know?
I appreciate y'all, man, keeping it alive.
Word.
And schooling the next generation on the really real things.
It's good to have a graffiti artist up there.
No doubt.
Good luck.
It's good. It's good that you actually came back.
Yeah, that's.
We all graffiti.
Remember, we're all graffiti artists.
Touch the items.
That's
All right. Well, I will see you next week.
Touch the items.
The items.
Must
Ciao.
touch the items.
Sitting there, rock
I
that.
got fireworks.
Como vos estás? And the marathon continues.
I got fireworks, man. I gotta go sell my fireworks, man.
Oh shit.
Yo, dude, you need fireworks? You want the Roman candles or not? No?
You got half a stick of dynamite?
No, I got
Quarter
Roman candles.
sticks?
I got